feel like that was loud. Holy smokes. Reel it in, Torres. I'm just off of work. I got my work clothes on. And you know how this show, if you want to call it a show, this episode thing goes. I got like some people and I asked them if they want to come on and do some stuff and bring them on. And Tom Yore, Master Tom Yore. I've known Tom for a long time. We'll get into a story in a minute, but Tom Yore is a foosball icon, right? Helped refine and develop the international foos rulebook. Great competitor, world champion, Hall of Famer. And I don't want to burn too much time. I just want to bring Tom in and start talking to Tom. Tom Yore.
Hey, Mark, how you doing? What a great intro there. Thank you.
Did you get a chance to hear it?
Oh yeah, I heard it.
Oh, did you? I don't know if you could hear it.
Couldn't go on. I mean, that was it.
I wanted to get you in right away, man. People don't
cool.
know.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
People, no, it's totally good. We have an interesting history together. I mean, one of the so there was a group of novice level players. I was an amateur around that, and you were the hot novice. And you were known immediately. You were known almost immediately for taking second in Masters singles, like almost immediately. Before that, you and
was
Casey
92. I'd been playing for 4 years at that point.
Well, I started in 89 and quit in like 92, 93, right? But we played each other. Was that the year we played? It was 93. It was 93, I think. I'm pretty sure it may have been 94. And Fernando and I were playing for fifth in open doubles against Tom Spear and Robert Mars in the pits. And we met up with you and Casey Pruitt at ninth. And you and Casey Pruitt, we were all in the same. I think you had a way better incubator.
That must have been nationals in '94 then.
No, dude, it was worlds. It was worlds because
okay.
Because Fernando and I took ninth because we lost 2 matches in a row. We lost in the pits to fifth. And we lost to you and Casey. Where did you and Casey? You got to remember it was in 92 or 93, possibly 94, maybe 94, but it was in that area. You and Casey Pruitt ended up taking ninth or better in open doubles.
Yeah, I don't remember where we finished, but we were definitely on the rise because we played a lot of locals together. We played some regionals together, and we played a number of tournaments leading up to our '94 nationals title in St. Louis. So we won open doubles against Terry Moore and Gus Trevino at that point. So yeah, we were gelling as a team, and we both were kind of up and comers still. I hadn't quite established myself as a top tier player. I was still just fighting and clawing, doing whatever I could to become a part of the conversation. I had won a Georgia State singles title. I beat Terry Moore for the loser bracket and double dipped Atkinson for the finals. That was in '92.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was actually my first actual title. It was Georgia State, but no, it was a good tournament. During that time, I started playing a lot. There was like the southern swing of the foosball tour where everybody was coming through, like Mississippi, Louisiana, whatever, down to Florida, up to North Carolina and Georgia. There was, not necessarily in that order, but there was a period of time. It's like you had Florida State, Georgia State, North Carolina, and there's a group of guys with Terry Moore in the bus with Evan Mares and all this. So it's a great time for foosball, during that time frame. But yeah, I was playing a lot of foosball, and I met Terry down here when he first came to Florida, and Tommy came down there, Evan, the whole crew, and Russ King and everybody. And once I got a little familiarity with these guys, it's like I can beat them. And it's like, yeah, in '92, I played Terry Moore for the loser bracket, double dip Tommy, and a few years later with Casey Pruitt won my first doubles title at the Nationals. So that was pretty cool.
That was huge, man. In that era, so people, I mean, they don't have a point of reference. If they weren't around, they don't know. There were so many regional events, and a $5,000 was considered a big event. But then you had like the Starbucks Oklahoma Halloween Open, which was a $10,000, and
all always a big deal.
Oh yeah, there were so many regional events that you could stay in a I don't know what it is, like a 900-mile radius, and just play all these tournaments. And then you had the majors, which were the 5 major events that went around the country, the tour kickoff and the U.S. Open, the Nationals, and the Worlds, and the Masters. And the Masters,
Texas State jumped in there.
Yeah. So this was we didn't know it at the time. And look, I have a huge gap in my memory because I excised myself from foosball. But you're there the whole time. We didn't know it at the time, but got to see this incredible rise in foosball competitiveness, and we were always comparing it to the '70s. So we're like, oh man, that was really big. We didn't know at the time. '90s
Well,
was
it
huge.
was big. I mean, when they had the $1 million tour, I mean, it was big.
Yeah, right. It was huge. I think that it's a testament to, like, it was hard to get a win in the '90s. Way more people. We're talking about great pros too, right? How about
back in the day, they didn't seed the chart. So you had some early round upsets where you had like the two best teams or best players in singles playing in an early round because they weren't seeding it. And they had, 500 players or 250 teams run on, 10, 12, full page charts, it was just crazy doing it all by hand, writing everybody's names in,
Dude, match cards,
yelling conflict across the room because
yeah. You had to
yell calling matches up for people who are still in a match. Yeah, it's crazy back then.
There's people in the chat now, and I should probably pull up. Let me pull up the chat. Why not pull up the chat and see? I'm gonna say hi to everyone. Everyone, you want to? Let me actually put it in the overlay. So, if anyone wants to ask Tom a question, feel free. We're going to get into a match here in a second. But if you don't have the point of reference, imagine tournaments that are, I don't know, I don't want to exaggerate, 3 or 4 times the size they are now, but no electronics. Like it's all
it's all done paper. I mean, people still use, a match card, sign the match card, or in the tree that, your match is in the tree. It's like literally there was 200 slots of matches called because they had 200 tables at Worlds. It's like they would, they'd have a printed piece of paper that they would handwrite the names in, match this person versus that, put it in number 56 or 156 and say, you're up on that table. And it's like, you have to go and what, did I hear my name right? And go look and find, oh, here I am way over here. Yeah. Oh my God.
The worst was because it wasn't electronic, they could make mistakes. So they could they could write the wrong name in or put people in the wrong place. And also you're trying to backpedal and people are going, you're supposed to be you're supposed to lose 2 matches. So it's double elimination. You can lose 3 matches if they screwed up. They could have replay matches and people got moved around. And that's the problem with transcription error. When you don't have electronics and
then there's the oops so sorry because the rules were that if another match started and you didn't catch it and correct it, then you're out of luck. So you actually won the match, somebody missigned the card or whatever, and they played their next match. It's like you're out. It didn't matter.
It's hysterical, man.
It's brutal.
Well, it's fun. It's fun to connect with you. I get some great people on doing this, and they're lovely. But they've started playing foosball within the last 10 years. So these are high level competitors that have only known the modern era of foosball. We're dinosaurs, man. We just like, hey, back when we used to use paper and pencil, yell conflict because they didn't know. And if you were reffing a match and that was a conflict too.
That was a conflict too. The refs,
that was so wild, man. But look, part of the goal of this is to get any level player, but I use the term master lightly. I think you're a master. I mean, in my opinion, you're a master. You're a master because you've won at the highest levels. You compete at the highest levels. I think that term could get saturated. I think if you just look at hitting a points metric, I could be a little bit, I guess, a little bit cynical about that description of a master. But someone like you, I think it's an opportunity to really deliver and edify people on what happens in between the ears of a master, especially during competitive play. And I think what I want to do is I want to bring a match in and talk about this match. And I want to kind of, I want to first, there's more than one Foos TV, but Foos TV 8556, they have their own YouTube channel, and I asked for permission to use this footage. But we're going to look at the Florida State Open doubles final, and I'm just going to get this going here. Let me bring this in, and let me get the
2019
Open doubles final.
Nice.
This is a good match, man. How's that for volume? Is that volume okay, Tom? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
I'll let you know once the match starts.
Yeah. We'll get there in a second. And if you have any questions in chat, please feel free to ask. I like to let me put the guest above me because the guest is really the person who drives this show. But I think getting getting some feedback from you on what you're thinking during the match, and it's loading for a second. All right, so let's get into this. It's Kane and Blake versus you and Eric. Talking to, let me pause this for a second. Give us some build up here. This is the open doubles final, but let's talk about getting to this point. What do you remember about this tournament, Tom?
I remember being very well practiced for this tournament. Warmed up a bunch with Eric, whether it was locals or at his house. We knew Tony would be in the mix. Expected Tommy Jr. to be in the mix. A lot of things going on. Of course, Blake and Kane teamed up. I want to say that Rob Athen might have been at this tournament as well. So there was some top teams at this tournament. This is, it's the same tournament now that they rebranded as the Masters, because it was just so heavily attended by top players. I believe Atkinson was probably there. So it was a strong tournament. So I knew that I had to bring my A game as much as I could. And then, just over the course of the tournament, Eric and I, we've been playing together for a while, and I know exactly what he's doing, and I have a lot of confidence in his game. So it just enables me to play my game and not worry about anything. It's just like, I know he's going to dish me the ball. I know he's going to get the big blocks, and he's going to poke in a goal, every now and again, and mostly on a big point. A lot of times as a game winner. So I was playing with a lot of confidence, playing with Eric, and now going into this finals, I knew that Blake's just he's just such a quick thinker, quick player, fast reflexes, and just a dynamic player that you always got to be on your toes. If you watch my posture throughout this match, I'm super laser focused on everything. Whether I'm blocking Blake, I know I can't give up a possession. I have to win every situation, whether it's a 5-bar battle, loose ball pickup, whatever. I got to be on top of every moment. And then Kane back there, he's solid goalie, got a dynamic 2-bar. He mixes it up with passes. So Eric and I had to be really tight with our defense. It was a tough match for sure. And looking into it, it's like, we were at a point of, you'll see later, we were at a point of, where it wasn't looking good for us. But
hey, before we give it away, let's ask. So, are you the winners bracket here, or who's the winners bracket? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't remember who won the winners bracket.
Okay,
I was in the zone.
Do you remember who you beat to get here? Who was your toughest match before you got to this match?
Probably them. I honestly, I don't have.
Yeah.
Hey
man,
recollection of this.
Premature onset dementia is a thing, dude.
Yeah, they're all a blur, man. I play so many tournaments. They're all a blur.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's 1-0 you guys. It's 1-0 them. And let's pick up action. And let me just pause it. If you want me to pause it, I want you to tell me when to pause it.
Well, we're down 1-0.
Yep.
And I don't know. We're probably going to go down 2-0 because it seems to happen a lot to me. I don't know why.
This is actually the second set. So, yeah, it's just getting underway.
And I'm likely to call timeout if that happens.
There you go. Let's see what's happening here, man. So what are you looking for on Kane? Do you remember?
Well, right now I'm just getting a set, and now I'm looking long right there. Once I saw that D right there, I'm looking long. He's pulling back, but then I go straight. That was just ridiculous. A spray long because he kept pulling back with his, both guys. He came back, so it's like I should have, first one, that's a read. Second one, okay. Third one, I should have been launching, but some reason I must have been focused on the straight right there.
What I love about Eric is he is your prototypical goalie. He loves it. For sure. He loves it. He thinks about it. He plays the percentages. He's not a shoot over the middle and get stuff kind of guy when it's he's not a glory player.
No, but he does come up with the goods when he needs to. Like right there, okay, fine. He turned the ball over, made the block, and I don't care. It's like he was going for the bank. And there's the Yore 2-0 timeout.
Yeah,
so
right.
Now,
you want to talk about that?
Did we just stop and get a rep?
I think it did. I think it did.
There's a little fast forward action there.
Yeah, yeah. It's in the video edit. Is that Lafredo or is that ET?
I hope it's not Lafredo.
Yeah.
No offense, Todd.
Todd will never watch this. I don't know if Todd can get on the internet anymore these days. So, Kane now Kane is a lethal player, man. His offensive
sure.
bar is experienced. He's poised.
Yes. And a fiery player. He plays with a lot of emotion too.
Yeah, I think he didn't he win an open double major with Ryan at some point? He does, or Mario. I think he won one with Ryan. Is that correct? Do you remember?
I don't remember him winning with Ryan. I know him and Mario have finished very high, like at Worlds and whatnot, top 3 or top 2. They might have been in a Worlds final together.
Let's talk a little bit about Blake's 5-bar. His 5-bar, it seems like he has a good first read often. Because his 5-bar is very clever, right? It's very clever. His pass is kind of looking. Tell me,
fast, sneaky good.
So
are we down 3-0? Golly, I don't have a 3-0 timeout.
Yeah, you're getting right now. And Kane. You don't remember what Kane's talking about? He's talking a little bit. He's fiery.
No. Kane and I have a history. We're friends, but we have a history of getting a little chirpy with each other, a little chippy action. It's like
that's good. I
like it. Me, you reset me, you this, that, whatever. I mean, we've had it over the years. But we're still friends, after all that. And sometimes it gets a little lippy, a little talkative, like you like to have it. Now here he is taking a 3-0 timeout and rubbing something in that he blocked me. Okay, fine. So now he's trying to get under my skin a little bit.
Dude, so is that? Do you think he's trying to get under your skin? Is that what you project on him, or do you think it's possible, just possible, he doesn't want to do anything stupid with the ball because he has a 3-0 lead?
No, I think he wanted to rub it in that he's up 3-0.
That's hilarious. Because sometimes we project that stuff, right? I mean, it's in our heads. We're not certain, but we think what we think. It can be emboldened to think what we think. I like that. You know what I like about that defense? That defense is for Blake. Having his back, third man back, is not typical. He's doing that. It's something with what he's doing right now is to give Blake a certain look because he doesn't block all people that way.
He looks like right now he's forcing Blake into guessing between straight and push, and Eric just got him, blocked him with a push. Then Blake's like, okay, so then that means the straight's open, and he went straight, and Eric was there. So Eric's in his head right now.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Down 3. I guess it's 3-0, and I can't.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? His back 3-bar is backward. And that's something he's doing specific because Blake doesn't like it. I think he knows something Blake doesn't like because he doesn't block everybody with his 3-bar man back.
He usually doesn't. So if he's doing that, and I didn't really pick up on that,
you'll see.
He might have some kind of read on Blake. Eric's smart. He'll figure stuff like that out.
Okay, now that's normal.
Now he's going to a pull shot.
And he changes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Blake has that. I don't really, and call me kind of a cynical. When I see someone who shoots a roller shoot a pull shot, I immediately think it can't be that smart. Is that unfair? I mean, they go,
no. Blake's got all the tools though, and when he whips out another tool out of the toolbox, he knows how to use it. And that pull shot, his pull shot, I don't know if I would call it underrated because not to me. It's like he's got a very good pull shot when he shoots it. It's his long is very fat. Boom.
Look, he hits all the holes. Okay, look.
And he picks all the holes.
He can hit all the holes, and it's good lateral speed. He hits the ball, connects well. But a lot of times our personality manifests in our foosball style, right? I mean, you're a methodical guy, you're a calculated guy, you're an organized guy, so you have a thing you do. You're practicing all the time at a foosball tournament. You're systematized. 2-0, the timeout, or whatever we'll talk about later about how you're mixing it up a little bit. Blake is more like he's more whimsical, right? He's kind of shoot from the hip. He's
a momentum player, and he generates his own momentum. So the key is to stop the momentum.
I'm not 100% sure of that.
Mike Green is asking, was Tom ever a rookie? Were you ever a rookie?
No, I was not. I already told him the story. My first tournament was the 1988 World Championships. I was an unrated player because I never played on tour. So they gave me 1,200 points, but I played as an unrated player. I tried to explain it to him. and he keeps bringing it up, but that's cool, Mike. So I won rookie singles. I got 9th in open doubles. I got 4th in amateur doubles, 2nd in goalie wars. So after that tournament, they immediately shot me up to novice.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So no, I was never technically a rookie. I was an unrated player, and after one world championship, my very first tournament in 1988, they bumped me up to novice after that tournament.
Mike, I can see the chat. It's not in the overlay now. He said, "Of course I know the story." So Mike's making fun of you.
Such a hot stir.
I don't know how often you tell the story, dude.
It's the first time I've told the story publicly.
That's good. It's good. You never had a chance to hear. Mike Green said he's so easy.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
do get defensive.
It's 2-0, and now it's 1-1. One game each.
God, I live in 2-0 land. This is not good. Do something. I gotta make an adjustment here.
Looks like Eric thought about setting up in a different.
So what are you thinking? Do you recall right now? You just like in these situations.
We're about to go down 2-1, get the ball and start scoring. Now that's total desperation. There was no thought behind that, so I'm not happy with myself. Now I'm like, thank you. All right, so I'm probably going to set this up, and because I was already mad before, so like you got to take your time, set it up, and freaking execute. Read the D.
Oh, you do know yourself well enough. Look at you taking.
That was a good stroke, though. I was going 3/4. I probably didn't execute it, but at least I got something off of that. I got to read. It's like I'm not on the ball. All right. Yeah, I stroked that one. So it's like, all right, fine.
So when you decide you're going to play the player and not the ball, you're going to play the player, and you know you're playing a momentum player like Blake, who's hyper talented and gets the first read and fast twitch. Do you have strategies to deal with that?
You saw it right there. I know he's going to jump, so I went off the wall back to the wall, because when I went off the wall, he thinks off the wall lane, and he jumped off. So I used his speed against him right there.
Dude, I don't think people think about that enough.
Freaking stupid shot. So it's all about collecting your brain, and it's like staying steady. It's like, oh, I got a good misexecuted shot there. So and I pumped my fist. So now there must be something going on between me and Kane, because
because you're celebrating breaks.
Accidental cutback on him.
So it's funny, that off the wall down pass. Tony Friedman has told to say the same thing to me. When he's playing fast players like Brandon or Kevin Romero, he'll use the off the wall down because they're so fast. They can't double react fast enough to their own. They're like double.
Tony's systematic though. He'll go one direction or the other. So he'll go off the wall, back to the wall, off the wall, back to the wall, on a big point, off the wall lane. And he saves that off the wall to the lane, or he'll do it the opposite way, and he'll go off the wall lane, and then on a big point off the wall and oversell it and go back to the wall. So he's going to get you thinking one way or the other.
I've had that misfortune. I had the misfortune of playing Tony. I played only a little bit of foosball, but I ended up playing Tony, Beach Down, and Vegas, and a couple different places. And I learned very quickly how calculated that guy is. You learn very quickly, because you can even tell when he's looked at something and he's saving it. You could tell he's done a check and he knows that's going to be there later, and he's 3 steps ahead all the time. It's like
I honestly, I'm thinking about it. I don't think that there's any player I've ever gone up against that's more strategic and calculating than Tony. Quite honestly,
I agree, man. That guy is a human calculator.
He finds things to exploit, and he uses it. He exploits weakness. He exploits any opportunity. He's not afraid to. If he sees that you're leaving, an easy 5-bar shot, or catches a pass on the 3-bar and you're not covering the short dink, he'll dink you quick, or throw that pole kick out there, and he'll do it, or the 5-bar. He does it because he sees it open and he takes advantage of it. And it rattles the other player, because there's just like, you're focused on blocking a little, lane wall, tic-tac wall pass, and then he gets the ball instead. All of a sudden he's throwing 5-bar bombs at you, stick pole kicks and stuff. And it's like, there's just too many things coming at you, and it's too hard to grasp everything and all the different things you're trying to defend against. It becomes, mind-boggling.
Overwhelming. Becomes overwhelming. Exactly, and he's a special player because he could do 100 things, and he distills it down to like 2 things. And then he's like, boom, like this.
But he executes at such a high level with no matter what it is that he does. It's always on goal. It's always on point, always, executed properly. That's the thing.
Right. So we got You're down 3-2 right now, and it's
well, we're making a run. I just dropped that one, but so I'm starting to get into Blake's 5-bar rhythm. So tick tick, and then a quick pass. Dang, he sold me on the up right there.
he's
Sticking with that full shot.
He's a special player. Blake's a special player. Look at him. That's a quick read too, right? Everything is a quick read, and that quick read is good. I mean,
he saw Eric's lead with the 2-bar with a reverse D, and he shuffled, and Blake went on the third time. He saw shuffle, and then boom, shot at what he thought it was going to be another shuffle, and that's what it was. So that was a good read. So now Eric's like, all right, fine, I'm not going to give you the reverse. He faked a shuffle. That's right there. Blake thought he'd get him on the first one, and Eric never came out of it.
Stayed in the standard.
He stayed in the standard. He faked like he was going to switch, but he stayed. So Blake was anticipating, going around a 2-bar that never got there.
And you know what you're talking about right now, Tom, for the younger players or the players that aren't as skilled or experienced. Foosball gets really fun when you get to that level. When you're playing the game inside the game in your brain with the other person, you're anticipating and double blocking and double moving, and you'll look at each other and smile. You're like, I know what you were thinking.
I knew you were going to do that, and I was on it, and you still gagged it through or whatever. And it's like, I'll look up, and it's like, you knew I had you there or whatever.
Right. So, wow, that was a beauty. Do you think he meant that?
It's not that turned into a pass. It looked like it deflected, to the top side. But
I was wondering.
The stroke looked like it was going to be a slider or something.
So, okay, think about. I'm going to pause this for a second. Now that possession,
right there,
that was a good block. I wonder if Blake is a danger to himself when he starts to think too long. Sometimes these kind of players, and there's a lot of players like that. A lot of times you're trying to get the person to look at the goal for an extra second. Like you could throw. That's when you could throw Tony off, right? Frankly, when you throw Tony off, you got him to think an additional time when he wasn't anticipating it. That's why syncopated defense, 3-man defenses kind of can mess with Tony a little bit. They mess with Fred a little bit. That's what we did with them. But Blake looked at that possession a little bit longer, and that's kind of the goal of a goalie, not to be, no pun intended. But do you think Blake is less dangerous when he's thinking more overall?
Back then, during this tournament and several years before this, he was more dangerous when he wasn't thinking.
Okay.
Now he's more mature in his approach to the game. He now thinks his way through the match a lot better actually than he used to. So when he was playing on strictly talent, it was hard to tell what he was going to do because he executed so quickly and got quick reads. I mean, smart guy. Yeah. But back here, he would get into ruts where he would keep trying to force the fast game when it stopped working. Now he's in a mindset where he's able to recognize that and slow down and take more time and take timeouts and think about what's going on.
Yeah.
So what we down?
Did you say that? Kane looked right at you. Said 10 more.
So exactly. Well, did you say 10? Well, so what was going on here is.
He got a warning. He got a technical warning, by the way. He got a technical warning.
Well, he got a warning because he directed it at me. So there was a little something going on here where he was counting, how many more points, to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Kane said, "Come on, Blake, 5 more or something like that." So
let's turn it up. Let's watch it. Let's turn it up.
Yeah. Turn it up. That's going to do it for the third game.
10 more. So we're So what was happening was
Tom. I think he got a warning from Todd Lafredo.
It's Lafredo. I told you it's Lafredo. Tell him not to talk to me.
I guess it's just a warning.
Tell him not to talk to me.
There was a moment in that game early on where Kane was pumping up Blake and said how many more points they needed to win the game.
Yeah.
And I was telling him how many more points we need to win the match.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a little countdown going on there between you couldn't hear it in the audio. If maybe if you turn it up, you hear it. But every time I scored, I told him how many more points that we need to, how many points are remaining for us to win.
Yeah.
So that's why he threw that back at me. It's like, oh, now because we won, now it's 10 more for you. So, okay, fine.
Dude, I love this kind of stuff, right? It's chipping.
Oh, yeah, there was some, you can't really hear it all, but there was, now it's on. Kane and I, Blake just stayed out of it the whole time, but Kane and I were needling each other a little bit here. So if I score now I'm fired up.
Yeah,
listen, so this is kind of where my game changed a little bit. It's like, I said something like, 9 more. I think right there I said 9 more.
Okay.
If you
No, I love this stuff. Look, man, foosball, you know my thing, right? We talked about this.
Yeah,
we don't necessarily agree.
You want the banter and the drama.
Oh, look, it makes it fun to watch, right? It makes it fun to watch. I love you guys are a little chippy. It's on the table, and it's good for emotion. Like I like the emotion driven from foosball. And Kane's an emotional dude. But I also like that you're from this school. I mean, you're a Florida born and bred.
I lived in it. I mean, I was never one to do that. And, well, I can't say that. I think I just said 8 more, but coming from Florida, with the likes of Diaz and Pruitt and Arthur Green in there, there's some serious trash talkers from Horton. Okay, of course, the master trash talker from Florida. Probably set the standard for everybody to talk smack. But
well, look, talking smack is a strong word. We recently saw Caitlin Clark from Iowa play some amazing basketball and be really, really engaged and be really, really competitive. And if you filter that, if you're like a passive person, you filter it as, wow, that's outrageous behavior and that's aggressive. It is human, man. It's human to be engaged and a part of it and feel competitive.
It's part of the competition, and it was here. I mean, it was. Part head game, it was part motivation, part, exerting dominance over the opponent, or at least attempting to. But
do you think it's affecting Blake?
I will say that when he did that, it fired me up, and
my game that was dead bar.
Better.
That was a dead bar. That was a dead bar long. Now, do you think it's affecting Blake?
I think I just scored my last 3 right there.
Do you think it's affecting Blake in any way?
Yes. Yeah. I think. Because I started scoring on Kane a lot better, eventually it started, affecting his offense.
What's happening here?
I don't know. Todd's probably making some stupid call. I ignored him. If you look at me, I just like, whatever, dude.
What is it specifically about Todd's judging? Anything in particular?
Yes.
Think it's a bias? Tell me.
No, well, it's a bias to an older era that he hasn't read a rule book in 30 years. Yeah, so he doesn't know what the current rule standards are, and the fact that we've redefined what a reset is, or how a jar is called, where jar has to now affect, it has to affect possession or ability to contain or control the ball. He doesn't understand that because he's never read the newer rule books that actually talk about that. So he thinks a ball rocking in place is a reset when the new rule book actually says a rocking ball is not a reset. So he doesn't know the new rules because he's still living in 1975 in terms of the rules. And so any slight wiggle of the ball is a reset. So he calls it the same way that he's always understood it. And it's
Mike Green is accusing you of elderly abuse in the chat.
Go easy, Mike. I'm coming after you next.
Well, look, man, I want to talk about something, and we're going to keep the match going because I think it's a totally fun match to watch. There is a narrative that I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard this narrative from a player from the 70s at a high level, and he said that as we evolve from 70s rules to the 80s into the 90s, it was in Todd's specific interest to keep as much of the head game out of it because Todd is such a physically talented player. If he could keep it to the physical attributes on the table and do as much as he can to moderate anyone playing head games with him, he was going to have the advantage. And that he leveraged, I don't know how true that is or not. That he leveraged.
Todd's making the case that the head game should be out of the game?
Depending on how, right? I know Todd is like guilty.
He lives in the head game.
Yeah, but not the chirpy. He did other stuff.
He does it in different ways. I mean, it's like, if he's getting beat or scored on, then he'll stop and accuse you of doing something that you're not doing to make you think about something else. Or
what Todd was notorious for doing was getting play to stop for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I
or
don't
whatever.
know, balls,
Stop,
surface, rods, something you're doing, anything. I need a ref. I need a certain ref. I need 2 certain refs, specific refs. And if Todd could strategically delay that, if he's losing and the momentum is not in his favor, if he could make that timeout last 30 minutes, then he felt like he regained control of the match. That's what he was notorious for doing. What he didn't like, from what I understand, and correct me, because what he didn't like was any types of engagement, like this type of engagement you have right now, where it's even if it's indirect, but it's chirpy and it's. From what I understand, he hated that kind of stuff because it didn't work in his favor. Do you think there's truth to that, or do you think? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess he never really liked, going up against Diaz where, he's getting a little chirpy, back and forth. He didn't like that kind of stuff. He wasn't a, very good trash talker. I mean, he would respond, but he would always get serious quick. So maybe that's part of it. He didn't engage in back and forth. Maybe it distracted him, and maybe he intentionally didn't want that, to take him away from the game. But he made the point to me that all foosball is deception. Everything you do, where he'll have the ball set down against the wall like he's going to hit a ball down the wall, or actually he'll look like he's looking long and then pump it down the wall. It's like he looks up and like, I'm looking long, and then he'll throw a big fake and pump it down the wall. It's like, okay, yeah, you just drew my attention away by looking, noticeably looking away from, the wall, and then a big elbow lift motion thing and throwing it down the wall. It's like, okay.
Dude, did you watch the Michael Stahl Pandemonium? It was the first one we did. And Todd's like, Michael, you have a tell. Your tell is you get lower and lower before you're going to shoot. Everybody knows you have this tell. I'm telling you now because it's affecting us right now. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, Todd Lafredo. If you watch, we did one with Michael Stahl. It's a World Cup, and Michael Stahl is very open about how he didn't feel like he executed at a high enough level to win that match. And he talks about what Todd Lafredo was telling him during the match. He's like, "You have a bad tell," and I thought that was interesting because Todd's known about that tell for a long time.
Yeah. He might want to keep it in the bank for homegrown tournaments, but I watched that match and I really felt that at some point Todd should have just pulled the trigger and switched and got up there and handled things up front. But hey, Stahl played great. He really did.
No, he did. He played amazing. He was put in a tough spot, and he's very open to how it'll change him, and he thinks about going forward.
It was he was in a spot that he's never been in before, and it was tough. He did super, awesome the way he played and got there. But I think Todd should have probably, started taking charge of the situation a lot sooner.
I want to get back to listen.
What did he say? He was telling me how many goals they need because so they're down to 2, right? So he probably is yelling 2 more.
Let's do this again. Hold on. Let's do this again. Hold on. Hold on. Karma. He said karma. Come on. Karma. Karma. Dude, he's in your grill, and I love it.
Yeah, he made me miss execute. He distracted me. Oh, look at this. This isn't looking good. What's the game count? 2-1 them?
It's 3 to is it 3-3?
No, game count. They have 2 games to our 1.
It's 2-1, yeah.
And he just had a shot to go up 4-1 in the game, or 4-2.
Yes. And now it's Eric. Eric's doing, that's a really interesting series. Eric does.
Dude, our back's against the wall. Eric's got he's got a lot of options from where he sets that ball up.
Yeah, right. Like right there. He could do a
He'll
lot
do
of
that squib to I don't know if that was an actual pass or. So he'll do a bank from there, slant pass. He has pull shots, a tuck, a long pull kick. He's got a lot of options off that set.
So I think it's kind of interesting. Who started with the being chirpy? Was it you or Chippy? Was it you or was it Kane? It's fine. I hope it was you. Who was Chippy first?
Tom was getting so many blocks on Blake.
You remember?
Well, if I did it, it wasn't intentional. I think it probably was Kane reacting to something I did or said that I might have. I don't even know.
Sure. Well, look, man. Look, foosball is in your face, man. I mean, like you're when people don't get about foosball.
So it's all perception because when Kane said, he said, come on, Blake, 3 more or something like that, or whatever number he threw out there, but for them to win the match. Now it's like, okay, well, all I need is this many, and we win the match. So now it became a back and forth. So he said something that made me respond. Is the way I recollect.
It's funny. The irony is this. We started this with him saying something.
This is 5th game, right?
This is 5th game. We started this with him saying something, and you saying he said that to make me. He did that to make me mad. And my response to that in the beginning of this conversation was that
no, he took the timeout. He took the timeout.
A 3-0. That's it.
To rub it in my face.
Yeah. Okay. Let's focus on that for a second.
Okay.
He takes a 3-0 timeout, and I ask you, and you say he did that to rub it in my face. And my response back was, do you think he did that to rub it in your face? Do you think it's possible he did it to not make a mistake? And you're projecting on him, he's rubbing in your face. And your response is, no, he did it to rub it in my face. And this is
only because I know Kane. That's why.
But there's an irony here. The irony is I just asked who started this, and you don't know, and it's fine. No one remember. You don't remember. It's too long ago, and who knows where it is in video. But your response is, if it's something I said, it was not directed at him. It could be something I said that
I said he might have perceived it to be.
That's right. That's right. And this is the beautiful thing about this, is that foosball is this area where you guys are as close as you can get besides like full contact sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the play field, there's so much stress and anxiety built into this little environment right here. I mean, it is a play field of a full football field or basketball court condensed down into this small area. And so all these things matter, right? So with your interpretations, with your filters, what you're projecting, it's what you're manifesting. All those things are happening, and it's in between your ears, right? It's in between. You don't know, right? But you're reacting to it. You following me? You're responding.
Yeah.
You're responding to the game that's going on within your head, and you really don't know if you're participating in the same game, but you think you are. There's something going on. There's a dynamic between you.
There's definitely a head game going on, and there's, like I said, there's the ego and people, wanting to, claim that high ground of motivation. As I just turned the ball over right there, nice.
Now, do you think? Look, it's bringing out the best in you. You're scoring like a beast now. You have a little extra pop, a little more adrenaline.
I'm motivated.
Yeah,
he got me angry, and I just want to win. So I'm just digging hard now. I'm just like, it's 0-0, but I'm scrapping. I can't catch a loose ball to save my life. He's trying to give it to me, and I still can't get it. But I'm on high alert defensively. All right, so we got a defensive poke in the goal right there.
Tom, having watched you play for years, I can't tell you how much I think just your commitment to not give up has won you matches. Like, you do not give up. You never give up. Like, to the dying end. And so many players, they give up, man. And I think it's won you way more games and matches.
I most often win coming from a losing position. You can see Blake right there switch back to his snake shot. I don't know how long ago he did that, but
I think it's pretty random. I don't know if he had a strong reason to do it. It's not like he was getting bricked.
Well, he wasn't scoring his snake shot early on in the match, and then he switched to the pull shot and had better success.
Man, they got picked up another one.
This is a pivotal moment right here. I think Blake scores this, or if not this one, his next possession. They go up 2-1.
It's buffering.
And right here, you want to turn it up, go back. This is what really triggered me in this game.
Hold on, let me go back a second here and watch. I don't want to go back. I went back too far. Let's let it play through. What score was? What was the score when that happened? I got to get back.
Blake scored to make it 2-1.
Okay, right here. This is
Blake's gonna set up the snake now.
Here, let me get. Let's let it play through because it's very sensitive when I go forward and back.
Yeah.
All right. So, but this is a last game, right? I mean, whoever wins this wins.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
And they got up 2-1. And when Blake scored to go up 2-1, Kane said something that fired me up even more than fired up before. That really, just
Good block there by Kane.
totally, was it steeled my resolve? Is that the word?
Yeah.
It motivated me to like
Here we go. Let's hear it.
Blake
elevate
grabs
my
minus
game.
3.
Yeah, we got this, Blake. Come on,
It's a
baby.
deep push
Three
side.
more.
Good shot.
Yeah, we got this, Blake.
2-1 here.
We got this, Blake. 3 more. He just grabbed my trophy right there. He just grabbed the trophy and tried to run. I mean, that was Happy Gilmore where Shooter McGavin grabbed the green jacket and tried to run.
Oh,
Strokes along.
I don't know if he said anything back. I don't know what you said back. Mike Green in the chat.
I said, I know what I said. I said not. I scored that and said not so fast.
5.
Oh, I like it. I like it. So Mike Green said Tom loves it when the back and forth starts. It makes him focus like a laser.
Off the wall, back down.
Go ahead
Mike
and
Green
pause
says-
this. I got another side story from this. That very moment.
Go ahead, tell me.
That very moment. Speaking of Mike Green, so Mike Green's watching the match. He's off to the side with some other guy, Jeff Pereira, friend of mine. So they're talking. Jeff's kind of new to the game, and Mike says, "Tom's going to block Blake and score this. Tom's going to come back and win this." And he sat there and walked him through everything that was about to happen, that did happen. And Jeff's like, "Holy crap! How did you call that?" I don't want to spoil the end, but
yeah, don't spoil in. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. Mike, I put you up, so if you want to say anything, say it now, because I'm going to take the chat back down, and we're going to finish this hot-blooded match right now with Kane and.
Mike's going to spoil the ending. I know he is.
Nah, I'm going to take him. I put the chat up if you want to say anything, but I'll just verbalize it.
But right there, that fired me up when Kane said that. He said, "We got this.
Yeah.
3 more. We got this."
Oh, Mike, I checked the chat down, and Mike wrote, "I own Tom Yore." All right, here we go.
Ever since he ripped the score beads off.
The 2-2 timeout. All right. So right now you're focused on the next moment. You're not feeling like you're behind. You're not.
No. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel energized. It's like we can now. I'm just like we can do this. Not we've got this, but I'm like just keep elevate your game. Now I'm just super focused on getting the ball and scoring. That was a crisp long, or I don't know if that was a 3/4, but either way, that was.
It was long.
All right, it was a crisp shot.
You know what would have been fun if I could have brought Kane Gabriel in right now. Here's our surprise guest.
To rebut everything that I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh man, he put that one on goal.
So
another block on the
So
5.
Blake never got the ball past my 5 bar after that point.
So I wonder. That's why I wonder if
that with,
it didn't serve Blake's game.
Blake.
The banter didn't hurt.
No, it affected him. It threw off his game because I got energized and I changed my timing on my defense.
And Tom strokes
I don't even know where that went. You got behind that one
That
real
was
well.
that was the best long of the tournament for me right there.
That was squibbed in the perfect pinch position to go.
So
he hit it
Blake's
really
rattled.
well.
He doesn't know what he should have taken a timeout, but he wasn't sure. It's like he just went through a couple passes that I'm all over, and I got momentum now. I'm just like I'm rolling with it.
Sets it up.
I was steamed. Like we got this. 3 more. Like no, I got this. 4 more. Big middle.
Oh.
Ripped it.
Oh, that's it, man. You just, dude.
And he's trying. See, he won't let go of my hand right there. He's mad. Rewind that.
I
He
don't
won't
know.
let go of my hand. He had something to say. I forgot what he said.
Let's see it.
He was steamed. We shook hands and he didn't let go.
Let me turn it up.
He was pissed. Love you, Kane. Boom! I stepped away too. That was a little in your face. Like back the middle, and you got like okay, let go.
Yeah, you don't even say it.
You're good,
That was one of those. That was one of those indignant good match. He's all good
bud.
match. Good match.
He's constricted. No, that was good stuff.
Dude, that was fun, man. That's good. That's good. You know, it's a great
Drama there.
match.
A little drama.
Dude, no, that's. I think foosball, and we can pick this up later.
And here's Todd admonishing me about my aggressive play or something.
Who cares?
You were a little rough on the resetting. It's like, yeah, whatever.
It's hilarious. Dude. One of the most notorious one of the most notorious rule bending dudes. Especially, man, come on, Fred was wild, right? Fred was a little wild. Like Fred would, Fred would
Mr.
definitely.
Third time out. That no, I was taking off my gloves.
These guys, man. Listen, that was a lot of fun, dude. And you know what? We're a little over on time, but I would love to do what I have. This is the match I want to do next with you. I queued it up just in case. Let me share the. Let me see if I can do this way. Window. Let's see. Is it here? I have a window that. It's this. Let's see right
That
here.
was fun though.
That was, dude. You know what happens
Knowing
next.
the backstory though, just knowing the whole backstory of the tension and all that, you know, it's like Kane saying something. Blake never said a word the whole time. Never said a word.
Yeah, I'm not fine. I wanted the next match I want to do with you, man, is the match with Mark Madej.
Oh,
I want to do that match with you. Dude, that was a good match. That's a good learning match.
Do you have the whole match or just the?
I have most of it. I have most of it.
Well, I mean, all the antics were game 1, 2, and 3.
And
I think.
Well, look,
Inside Foods broke in on game 3.
Yeah, but no, I think so you miss all the stuff. I think there's a learning lesson here from you specifically that some people will wilt under that type of gamesmanship, and I think you got to be very careful with Tom Yore, because Tom Yore is from that school, and if anything, you're like one of those sleeping. Let the sleeping lion sleep. If you could beat Tom Yore and not goof around with him,
if you're beating me doing what you're doing, keep doing it for sure.
Yeah.
But if you're annoying me, that's a different thing. That's a different animal coming out. It's like you're annoying me. You know, it took me a little while to regroup and get into a position where it's like, you know, I was no longer in that match particularly. I was no longer annoyed. I was afraid of losing. So I set aside my annoyance for a period of time until I got up 4-1. Then I wanted to kind of let it out with that pole kick set where I tried to hit a pole shot with.
Oh, you're talking about the match with Mark. No.
Mark. Yeah, he was annoying the heck out of me. But you know, I mean, over the years, I mean, how about playing Don Swan with all his extra garb that he would wear, and then playing a boombox under the table full blast while we're playing, while he'll score a point and then go off to the corner and dance and then come back and resume play. It's like, this is, without even taking a timeout.
Dude, I miss those days, dude.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Now's not the time because we're at like 50 minutes right now, but we're going to have to talk about, these ideas of where it serves the competitor and when it serves the entertainment value. And you guys, we have talked about around this. I think it'd be great for a broader discussion, but, having attempted recently and frankly been successful, selling foosball at a really high level, that entertainment value has its audience, and it broadens the experience. I think that what's fun about this is you're still old school, where during the match, between balls or otherwise, you're perfectly comfortable getting a little chippy and being competitive.
Yeah, I'll respond in kind, usually.
Did you watch the video of the money match between Brandon Munoz?
I haven't seen that. No,
dude,
I was there live. I saw it happening.
Oh yeah, you were there. You were there.
Oh yeah, I was sitting there watching it. I was at the table when it happened. It's like Brandon wasn't really trying as hard as he probably should have. And if I was Eric, I would have been kicking his butt. It's like, dude, this is my money on the line. Get your butt in gear.
Oh, dude, like Eric outplayed Brandon by miles. Totally
Brandon
outplayed
wasn't taking it seriously, and the other guys were. It's like they're playing for money.
Well, look at Eric. God bless him. Eric had been partying for hours, and Brandon. I think Brandon was just lethargic. You had teenagers. Those guys were like 18 years old.
I would have jumped up front if I was Eric. It's like that. Yeah, his money was going down. With the Titanic, and I would have done something. But
yeah, no. Listen, man. I need to do this again with you. We're gonna call it. It's been amazing and a really fun match to analyze, but we got to do this again, man. I think you have a lot to coach and mentor and teach people, and I think these are moments that get archived and are on YouTube, and people get to see it. So I want to thank you, man.
Appreciate no problem. Enjoyed doing this.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
No, we'll do it again soon, my friend. And everybody, that's Tom Yore. He's we'll call him Master Yore, because he's a true master at foosball. And I want to thank everybody who showed up. This show is incredibly, I got a hold of Tom. You want to do it? Let's get on there. And I get off of work and we do it. This is how this is going to work. But I want to thank you for showing up. And this will be on YouTube, and we'll put it on Facebook, and there'll be more of these coming in the future. Thank you, Tom Yore. Thank you, Foos TV TV on YouTube. And see you guys next time on our next episode of Pandemonium. Cheers.